Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I am going to be reviewing the newest installment in the MCU, The Marvel, starring Brie Larson, Iman Vellani, Tiana Paris, and Samuel L. Jackson. Now, Carol Danvers gets her powers entangled with those of Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau, forcing them to work together to save the universe. So, I was at the holiday house the week that this came out. So I was like, I need to review it. I was like, I should review this movie. So I was like, okay, I need to see it. I thought about seeing it when Mum and Dad were away on Wednesday. I was like, no, I really want to see it with Dad because I think that he'll like this movie as well. So we sat down yesterday. I got my 2 secs. I got my cup for the movie because unfortunately they didn't have buckets. This is one of the few movies that they didn't do buckets for. Very much like how Transformers: Rise of the Beast. I didn't get the bucket, but they were only selling the buckets and not the cup, which for The Flash, they were selling the cup and the bucket, and same with Shazam. Shazam 2, right? So, we were like, we don't know how we're going to feel about this movie because the reviews have been pretty bad, whether if it's fans of the MCU or critics. And also, everyone's just not liking this movie just because it's a female-led movie and because people didn't like the first one. So we sat down, we had the whole theater by ourselves. We were like, yes, this is like Hunt of the Wilder People. So, because by the time we saw Hunt of the Wilder People, everyone had seen it. So we got the theater to ourselves, which was awesome. So we sat down, we were like, okay, let's watch it. And the first few minutes, I was like, oh, this is not really going so great. But the second as it got to the Miss Marvel stuff and started doing the whole interchanging the powers and stuff, I was like, I'm super in. Give me all of it. Right? So I was like, yes, please. I actually ended up really liking this movie. Now, I was trying to figure out where to put it in my MCU rankings. I eventually settled on it, but I think after watching it a few more times, it might fall back a little bit more. But I'm not going to spoil my rank for it, but it will probably fall down a little bit. I was trying to think of, like, how much I'm going to like this movie, right? Because this movie is, like, so bonkers, the whole thing, right? Because I thought it was better than the first Captain Marvel, even though I really liked the first Captain Marvel. I thought I liked it less than Miss Marvel, the series, but I think I preferred a little bit more than the Miss Marvel series. Just by a smidge, not by a lot. So, I'm actually like, yeah, you know what? I actually like this. And having the end game of Captain Marvel 1, WandaVision, and Miss Marvel the series was just so cool to see in this movie, and as opposed to just seeing it on like a Disney Plus special, right? But seeing it in a movie was like, wow, this is so cool, and it was really cool to see. So now we do have not one of the worst, but one of the weaker villains in the MCU. I know it's played by Tom Hiddleston's wife, and she does a good job with what she's given. Like, it's okay, but it's not one of the best MCU villains, right? I think that Brie Larson, this go around, really stepped it up. I think that I really liked her in the first Captain Marvel movie. I liked her in Endgame, and stuff like that. I really liked that. I thought that there were a lot of cool things in the first Captain Marvel. I think that people just don't like it just because of the whole women thing. And because the bullshit that Brie Larson said in press. But it's like, as long as the movie's good, it should be fine with me. And guess what? The movie was bloody good. It wasn't the best like your Infinity Wars and your Endgames and your Noah Holmes, but it wasn't as terrible as like your Dark Worlds and your Doctor Strangers and Incredible Hulks and stuff. So I thought it was really, really pretty good, the first one, but the fact that I loved WandaVision, and it's the best TV show that Marvel has done, and I really liked the first Captain Marvel, and I liked Miss Marvel. I thought that this movie was the perfect combination of all those characters in the one movie. I thought that the three actresses with Brie Larson, Tiana Paris, and Iman Vellani have fantastic chemistry. The whole things of them being girls, I thought it's really true. There were even at times where I felt myself related to like Miss Marvel and some of the stuff that Captain Marvel, when she's doing the douchebag, not that she does it alone in this movie, but the times when she does the douchebag thing to Miss Marvel, I felt really related to Miss Marvel, because I was like, yep, that's some of the women I've experienced in my life. But yeah, so I think that there were really good things in this movie, and like I really thought that the choreography of the fight scenes was so cool because of the whole thing of having them doing the switching powers thing, and like Miss Marvel would use her powers and then switch to Captain Marvel, and she would land in the living room, and how like, and that sort of stuff, and the way that they used the like how you know that they're using their powers at the same time, where this is not really a spoiler, but like not that it's plot, but it's like how they kind of show them using the same powers type thing. So it's not really a spoiler, because we know that they're using the powers at the same time by the trailers. But they do the comic book thing where you would have like the three, like one side of the screen, like that on its edge, for Captain Marvel, the other side would be Miss Marvel, then the middle would be like Monica Rambeau. They do it like 3 times in this movie. I'm like, oh my god, that is how you do good comic book transitions. Even though that I think that the Hulk movie, the Eric Bana Hulk movie, is pretty underrated and it gets way too much hate, I think that there are bits that, like, I think that it comes to a point where it does it too much, especially with the Hulk scenes. And it's like, there's one transition, here's the comic book panel to the next scene. There's a point where it does it too much, and it's just like, am I watching an actual movie, or am I watching a comic book, like an animated comic book type thing, like one of the DC animated movies, but the animated movie is more cut like a comic book type thing, you know what I mean? But this movie does it in a way that it's like it's not feeling like a comic book. It feels like a movie, and you need to do it to know that they're using their powers at the same time, which is really, really cool, and I love that about it. And there was also 3 things in this movie that made me very, very happy. One of the things that I think there were things that, I think one of them we knew about going into it, and even though that time I was like, when I saw the thing coming, I was like, wait, is that? And I was like, oh, wait, that's right. I heard rumors that she was going to be in it. But then, the one near the end of the movie, I was like, oh, yes. And then the one that happens during the mid-credit scene, I was like, yes! But I didn't realize that was the actor that played him previously. So, because I thought it was the MCU one, but it's not. But that, like, mid-credit scene makes me way more excited. Like, I already was. My most anticipated movie next year was already Deadpool 3. This movie, that mid-credit scene made me go like, holy crap, I'm way over the moon about being excited for Deadpool 3. I mean, just by saying Deadpool 3, you probably know what it is. But it's probably not who you expect, that I'm saying. We will do a spoiler talk on the podcast, so we'll go into more of those. We'll go into those 3 cameos that happen in the movie. But I would like to see what happens. How does this movie affect the future, other than that last chunk of the movie type thing. But I think that I would honestly have to give the Marvels a 4 out of 5 stars. It's around the middle of the MCU for me, so like it's a weak 4.5 out of 5 stars, but a strong 3.5. But I prefer it more than Miss Marvel the series and Black Panther and things like that, which are my around my middle area of 4 stars. So yeah, so guys, please hit the like button down below if you haven't already. Subscribe, also the little bell icon to get notified of future videos. Now, I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon.